for those of you who think कि I've got a very difficult relationship and I'm suffering, you have chosen to be with that person.
Probably I'm done with this life. I'm taking a next life. Will I be given a choice, a chance to choose what kind of a life I want to, pick?
You are not given a chance or a choice. You choose. So when we're taking you through death, we also take you through that phase where you're creating the blueprint for your next life. Health bhi kharab hai. Professionally you're not okay. Relationship wise you're not okay. Financially you're not okay. The sky has fallen on your head. Yeah? These are the souls that are here to exhaust their karma. My very first client kept his eyes open, didn't blink for 6 hours. And he says, oh my God, I'm having severe pain in my chest. I'm going to die right now. I'm like, what should I do right now? So I just stand up from my chair and I'm looking at him. And he is still holding on to his chest and he says, and I've died. I said, great, awesome, good that you died. So when you pass through death and then go back into a past life, one thing you realize is, I've lived before, I'm living now, I'm going to live again.
Yes.
I mean, there's no concept of destruction of who I am. We have a body, but there are so many more who don't. And they are the ones who are around us. I've had these 2 or 3 instances where I've had spirits coming in asking me for help.
Could you see them basically?
No, you cannot see them. You can only feel them. You can hear their voice in your head. You can feel that there is someone here. There is no shadow, there is nothing you can see. But you know that there is a presence.
I actually forgot my questions after listening to this. On Speak of Unspoken, we have Dr. Ashwini Kamath, who is gonna throw light on one of the most controversial topic, which is past life regression. Welcome, ma'am. We are so happy to have you.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. Okay. And especially speak on a topic that is almost a taboo.
You have been a doctor as well as a past life regression therapist. So I think it's amazing. Someone from a core science background is going to talk on this. So we are very excited to know from you. So ma'am, we want to know what is exactly past life regression, and probably you can quote that with one of the most bizarre experience you've come across.
Okay, so Sanjana, I'll be very honest with you. Every PLR session is very unique.
Okay.
It's very phenomenal. And there are no comparison between one session and the other. Let me give you a few examples when you're asking bizarre. I had a client who had come in for a past life regression, because normally we go to a past life regression therapist when we are stuck somewhere in life. So there are a lot of things that are out of control and you don't know what to do with your life. Why is this happening to me? Why me is the question that 90-95% of people come with.
Right.
So she had this question of her husband was diagnosed with cancer and he had to get his feet amputated. Okay. So she was in that, why are we going through this? Newly married and, love marriage and all of that. So she plans to find out why they are going through this karmic whatever cycle. And she, during the session, skips forward, because again, time is relative.
Right.
If you can go back in time, we can also go ahead in time.
Yes, yes.
Her soul chooses to go 8 months ahead in time, where she sees the body of her husband. And she finds herself standing there and crying with her child. She immediately got out of trance after this.
Okay.
She was one person who told me, I hate you, and walked away. She's like, why did you make me see this? But exactly 8 months later, she gave me a call.
Okay.
She says, thank you so much for that session. And it's because of that, today I'm able to deal with what has happened, because her husband did pass away.
She was prepared for it somewhere.
She was mentally prepared for it. There has been one person who got in a spirit entity and we had to release it. That is also quite bizarre. There are people who have gone through out of body experiences. So there was one person who told me, I was sitting right next to him when we were doing the session, and later he told me he was floating in that particular position. He was out of his body. So that is another experience. I've had multiple people who have come in and they've experienced life on different planets, on different solar systems, different galaxies.
Have they described anything which is
Yes.
something unlikely of what Earth is today?
Yes.
Completely different.
Completely different. See, when we are talking about a past life, anything that happened a second before this is in our past, right?
Right.
Me walking in through that door was a past. So when you're going back into the past and trying to resolve your issues there, why do we do this? See, we humans usually have this tendency of trying to tie all the loose ends. Okay? We have a lot of unresolved emotions and we have a lot of unresolved situations. So in those situation scenarios, what we want to do is find closure. Ultimately, we always, we want closure in whether it is relationships, whether it is a situation that has been difficult in your life. So normally all of these traumatic memories or even happy memories for that matter are stored in our subconscious mind.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yes.
So many a times the imprint is not just psychological, it's also on the soul level. We carry it forward. Okay.
Lifetimes.
So yes, lifetimes of memories. So normally what we do through this therapy is we regress or we go back
Okay.
to the time when you experience that memory, that particular event, that situation, and we try and rewire it there. Okay, or we help you find a different perspective so that you're able to resolve the issue where it began. So you're basically what you're doing is getting rid of the issue in the past so that your present is taken care of and you're able to deal with your future in a better way. So this is how past life regression hypnotherapy helps. Okay. So this can be done by various ways. When we are talking about past life hypnotherapy can be done. There are Akashic records, you can access past life. A few people go through past life spontaneously. You would have heard of children who have had memories of a past life. You can go through it spontaneously also.
Like languages, which foreign languages they are able to remember.
Yes, that's called xenoglossy.
Yes.
Yes. There are a lot of different options for you to go back in time and resolve your issues. And hypnotherapy is one of them.
Okay. So I have one question.
Yes.
There are a lot of problems in the current life itself. And
Yes.
it is so difficult to resolve what we already have on hands. What do you suggest about actually going and digging into something that's completely from our past and then again bringing it back and unraveling it all over again? Do you
Yes.
think we are somewhere messing or complicating it a little further? That was just a perspective.
Absolutely, and it's a wonderful question and it has to be dealt with. Many people ask me, when they come in for therapy also, गड़े मुर्दे उखाड़ने की क्या जरूरत है? Why do we even have to dig into the past?
Yes.
I'll ask you one question in return. Why do we study history right from primary school? What is the point? So why do we even study history? The reason why we study our past is, one is to know what happened in the past. The main reason being that we don't want to repeat the mistakes.
Definitely.
You don't repeat the same patterns and mistakes that you have done earlier.
Right.
Okay, so that is why it is very important for us to at least assess, analyze and perceive our past in a different way. The perspective plays a very important role. When you start looking at things in a different way, you can change your entire life.
Definitely. Is there a way where we can self-regress ourselves and get into our past? I mean, do we always need a guide first of all?
Guide is recommended for the reason that, again, you're going through death and it is traumatic. You have someone to guide you through the process. You have someone to handhold you.
And what if we can't return back to our normal state?
There is no concept of you cannot return back. I'll give you an example. There was this lady who had come for her session and we took multiple breaks. What happened was, she was called the vomiting queen in her house. She had motion sickness and vomiting and she had severe allergies that did not go away with allopathy, with Ayurveda, with homeopathy. She went to an astrologer, she went to a shaman, she went to some fellow with the peacock feather. She did anything and everything she could do, but it didn't go away. Finally, somebody told about past life regression, so she had come to me. Now, this lady goes back to a lifetime in China where she's a factory worker. Okay. So, all past lifetimes need not be, they're not glorified or they're not very exotic. I would like to say about that also later. So, this particular person, this lady, sees herself as a man, 1970s, mid 70s, in China, as a factory worker, going from the top of the mountain to the valley where the factory is located. And this mountain, the tunnel which she is going through suddenly collapses.
Okay.
When the tunnel collapses, she is head down in mud and dust and dirt. Inhaling, everything is going into her mouth and she's stuck.
Oh, okay.
So she starts vomiting. And she dies there. Okay. So as a result, she's held on to that fear, And in this lifetime, she had motion sickness to the extent that she was not able to, after marriage, they couldn't even go to a different place for honeymoon. She was not able to travel. She couldn't go anywhere. She was stuck. Okay. And she says, I don't do the dusting in my house, my mother-in-law does. And she's really pissed off about it. Because I cannot dust my house. I get allergy. Very severe allergy. And she used to put tissue paper in her nose because her nose used to constantly leak. She had rhinitis. In the middle of the night, she can't sleep. So she starts skipping rope. Because at least that way her nasal passage opens up.
Oh.
That extent. And this lady goes through the session and we do a short process of healing there where she is guided to let go of that energy. And after a month, she gives me a call. She says, Ashwini, I have gone to Mangalore with my entire family by car. How happy I felt for her.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So it can help you release. A lot of stuck up emotion, it can help you release.
Sometimes then actually we look at people, it actually brings more kindness towards people around you and to be more accepting with whatever they are, however they are,
Yes. Also, when we were talking about breaks, she is the one who took multiple breaks in the middle of her session. So every time she would find herself in dust, she would get up and vomit. This was in my clinic. So actually vomit. We would clean up. She would go to the bathroom, get back, again go back. So again come back, vomit and go back. This happened 3 times. And you go back to the same point. Why? Our mind likes closure.
Yes.
Okay. Until and unless all those loose ends are tied, the mind always makes an effort to close.
Definitely.
Right.
And ma'am, I read a book of Brian Weiss, like Many Lives, Many Masters. In that, they speak about this patient called as Catherine. So she speaks about her lifetimes. He also observes as she speaks about the lifetime, she parallelly starts to heal those traumas.
Yes.
But I don't understand. I mean, I try to speak about my own lifetime now. I don't heal those problems. How can it just heal by discussing about it?
Yes, it does heal you on a cellular level. It heals you on a physical level. It heals you on an emotional and a psychological and spiritual level also. Okay. So what happens is when we are going back to the same experience, best example I can give you is people who have gone through very immense trauma. Okay. So when we are talking about instances of sexual abuse, when we're talking about very traumatic events that have happened in your life, you know what is the therapy for it?
Okay.
You revisit it multiple times.
Until it gets normalized.
In a safe space, in front of a person who is the facilitator, who is going to help you process that emotion. Because that is, a lot of closure is not there. When something traumatic happens to you, there is no closure.
Right.
So when you revisit it again and again, the energy that is locked in, that negative energy which is locked in because of the trauma, slowly starts getting released. And this particular thing has got a word, it is called as catharsis.
I'm sorry for being a little skeptic here. Do you think it's possible that it's like a bundle of thoughts can just collide into each other to produce new ideas and they are hallucinating about it and they can tell that to you? I mean, what's the difference basically? How would you make
Yeah.
out?
So the difference is when you're hallucinating, it doesn't feel so real. Let me give you an example. Say I'm explaining to you about the taste of orange. So Sanjana, the orange looks like this. It's in this color, and the taste is bitter. No, slightly, and it's sour and it's sweet. And I describe it to you in great detail for half an hour. But unless and until you experience it,
Right.
would you know that?
No.
No, right? So normally what happens for a person who has gone through an experience of PLR is the person who believes it the most. Skeptic or non-skeptic hardly matters. In fact, I love the skeptics. I myself was a skeptic before I did this.
So, ma'am, are there specific evidences that shows that past life exists, like other than people coming and telling their experiences? Because everyone looks at it like hallucination, or they are creating their own personality within them, or some memory is playing itself out. So, any other scientific evidence? First thing. Second thing is, have you peeped into your own past lives?
Yeah. So when we are talking about evidence, there's a lot of research that was done by Dr. Ian Stevenson.
Okay.
He's a psychologist, and he's researched and he's documented more than 4,000 cases of reincarnations and past lives. The University of Virginia actually had given him a grant of $1 million.
Oh.
He had to go and disapprove reincarnation and past lives. Past lives do not exist.
That's all. Huh.
So he had to go and prove this. And in order to prove this, they had given him $1 million grant.
Oh.
And he did a very detailed research for a very long time, documented every single case, and finally he's written multiple books on past lives, on reincarnation and regression. Okay, so you will see the skeptic turning into a believer. Now that is documented. See, we Indians always need proof from outside. Correct, no?
Yeah.
Okay, let me tell my own experience of sessions. So there's this very dear friend of mine, childhood friend. He goes through a session with me, and he says his name is Thomas Albert Street. Okay, so a very non-Indian name, and he tells me I'm from New Hampshire in UK, and he talks about his brothers and sisters, multiple brothers and sisters. He talks about a ship that he has traveled on, and then he tells me his entire life, what has gone through. And we finished the session. He is integrated. The reason why he has come, we have found a solution to the pattern that he was trying to deal with. He goes back home. He does his own research. Okay, because I have reached that point where I'm no longer looking or digging for proof.
Oh, okay.
Initially, when you do your course, you're very interested in, let me try and find out, if this is real or not.
Yeah.
And then you reach a stage where you say, I accepted the way it is.
Yes.
So this person goes back home, does his own research, finds himself and his photograph on Google.
Huh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And we collaborated. What he had mentioned during his session was exactly what we found on Google. Okay. And he's a Titanic survivor.
Oh.
Yes. And he finds a group photograph of people. He was a fireman, basically plumber kind of a guy on Titanic. He was one of the people who survived, who was there on the lifeboat. And he finds another photograph of a guy and he says, this guy is my childhood friend. Then we looked up that particular guy, and indeed he was also born in New Hampshire.
I mean, you were also related to them in your past life? Or?
He has gone through multiple sessions. The same person again saw me as his grandmother. When I was in Kerala, and my name was Sharda.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. It's so surprising to be hearing a different identity. And does, ma'am, that now that you've gone through it yourself, does it alter your current reality in any way?
Yes. The effects are very long lasting. So what happens to a person who's gone through a past life regression? First thing is fear of death is gone.
Yeah.
You have died, because every person who goes through a past life regression experience, we mandatorily take them through death. So the regression is a process.
Huh.
So we go back in time gradually. So we also do a process called inner child healing. So where we take them to their childhood, resolve issues that are there. Like you mentioned, we already have so many issues in this particular present lifetime. Why even go and dig there? So it's a process. We don't just jump to a past life.
Right.
We first process what has happened in childhood. Then we go to intrauterine, which means they go to the mother's womb.
Yeah, I've heard
So
that.
intrauterine lifetime is something that we again check, because even in Mahabharata you have seen Abhimanyu. Yes. So we go back intrauterine, and then we go to the process of death. Okay. So every person is taken through their death, and death is no way a pleasant experience. Every death is traumatic, no matter how easy it seems. Death is traumatic. So when you pass through death and then go back into a past life, one thing you realize is, I have lived before, I'm living now, I'm going to live again.
Yes.
So there's no point, there's no concept of destruction of who I am,
Right.
because I'm going to exist. So the fear of death is the first thing that goes. Second main advantage, many a times you find people you have in your life today in a past life. So you lose the fear of abandonment or losing that person.
Nice.
Yeah. So when you meet people who are close to you, near and dear to you, and you see them again in a different lifetime, that is very consoling.
Unless I don't identify that this is the same person or I'm aware of it.
Oh, they do identify. They do. Because you're going through the experience. You know exactly, even though they look different, they may be in a different body, a different gender.
You can identify the soul.
You can definitely identify the soul.
Oh my God.
Yes. And they'll tell you exactly that this is this person.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very basic question. Why, as souls, we need to return here? Why do we need to reincarnate? Has anyone really figured the reason behind it?
See, what happens, Sanjana, is when you're in class 1,
Yeah.
you clear your exams, you finish your class 1, and then your learning is even more enhanced. Then you go to class 2. So this particular plane of earth is our school, and we are here to learn. And one more thing you should understand is, this is one of the most difficult places to be born in, earth plane.
Okay.
Okay. So those karmic lessons that you need to learn. See, we always have different, I was talking about perspectives, right? So there is a person who is doing something bad to a person. This is the perpetrator. Okay. There is another person to whom he is doing it. That person is the victim. The third person is there who's observing these two people.
Yeah.
He is also getting impacted. That is the observer.
Right.
And there is a fourth person who is looking at all three of them. Okay. So there are different perspectives that we need to experience in order to process one particular learning. Okay. So if we don't learn through all those perspectives, we don't evolve. So it's important for us to go through it. Say, for example, there is an abuser. Maybe gets born, chosen, he himself chooses to be a victim in the next life. Just to learn that this is what I experience. And only then you evolve. You pass one class, go to the next lesson. It's a spiral.
Yeah.
You keep evolving.
Got
you
it.
keep graduating.
I come across every spiritual person almost coming and telling, like, we have to pay our karmic debts. And I think everything that's accumulated, we are trying to burn it out by the difficulties or problems we are facing. So the question is, where did we even accumulate it in the first place? And when did that even come to picture?
See, karma, first of all, let me be very clear. Karma is not about punishment. It is not punishment. See, we usually Indians, we say karma.
Yeah.
It's not that. Okay. So karma is, many people think it is more of what you are doing in life. whatever you have done, prarabdha, you have accumulated it. It's not just about the doing. It's the thought behind the doing. Example, say suppose I want to donate a particular sum of money to a NGO or a charitable institution.
Okay.
Me donating it is karma, yes. Right? You think
Right.
it is karma.
Yes.
So it's going to benefit me. But what if I am doing it for my tax deduction and not for donating? The thought process behind it, the intent behind it. Okay? So when you start with intent itself, your karma starts.
Yes.
And it's not about punishment. Okay? So it's not about I have to do this. It's more of I choose to do this. Also,
Choice.
when I'm talking about karmic debts, you mentioned karmic debts. So what happens is, for a soul, normally, there are a lot of learnings that are accumulated. And there are some souls who choose to exhaust everything in one lifetime. So those are the people who go through lot of difficulties. It's like so cyclic ki piche. Things are so chaotic.
Yes.
You feel like your world is crumbling down around you and you are standing helpless. Health bhi kharab hai. Professionally you are not okay. Relationship wise you are not okay. Financially you are not okay. It seems like everything is, the sky has fallen on your head.
Yes.
Yeah. These are the souls that are here to exhaust their karma. Example देती हूँ. We cook food, right? And whatever is left over we put in the fridge.
Right.
That gets accumulated छोटे छोटे बर्तन में. So today finally you decide कि भाई today mornings that is left, this sabzi is left, that dal is left, now I am not cooking, let me finish all of this. So you have an assorted meal, okay, and you're finishing everything at one go. Now that is your karmic debt. Okay, you choose to do it.
Definitely. Follow-up question.
Huh?
So we exhaust the karmas. So what next? Why do they want to exhaust and where do they want to go?
To the next lesson,
Okay.
to the next phase,
Okay. Probably it might be earth plane or any other plane.
any other plane, or maybe you want to come back and help people who are struggling in their life. You come back as a guide. You can come
So
back.
they get a chance before. So let me go to the very first of it.
Huh.
So imagine, like, probably I'm done with this life. I'm taking a next life. So will I be given a choice, a chance to choose what kind of a life I want to, pick?
You are not given a chance or a choice. You choose. And you consult. There are a lot of spirits that are there in that plane. We call it the life in between life stage. LBL it is called.
Oh.
This is one of the processes that we do through hypnotherapy. And it is a part of past life regression or regression hypnotherapy. So when we're taking you through death, we also take you through that phase where you're creating the blueprint for your next life. So you have left your body, you're yet to take on the next body. Now you decide, what are the learnings I want? What are the situations I want to be born in? And who are the souls that are going to help me with this? So for those of you who think कि I've got a very difficult relationship and I'm suffering because of this particular person,
Yeah.
you have chosen to be with that person.
Oh my God.
Yes.
So does that also include the situation, the people, the family I'll be
Yes.
born in? So
Yes.
that is also predestined. I decided before I
Yes.
come to that.
Yes, you decided. In fact, every soul chooses the family of origin.
Wow.
The first thing, chooses the karmic bond, which means siblings, spouses, and your children choose you.
Wow.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes. And every single person who has gone through a regression hypnotherapy has confirmed. Because every person we take through death and we take through an LBL stage, and they confirm that this is the mother or the father that I needed in order for me to learn these particular lessons. This is what I have taken away from a previous life, and this is what I want to resolve here.
I think it would be so so much better if we were aware that we have come
Yes.
for this,
Yes.
and we better do these business in this lifetime.
Yes.
If we are aware, it would be so much more smoother, I believe,
Yes.
than being so resistant about so many things.
Absolutely. And that is why I firmly believe everybody should go through this session at least once in their lifetime.
What is the basic gap between the lives?
There is no set criteria for this. There are people who come back immediately also. Okay, because if there is something that needs to be resolved immediately, then they come back. There are souls that choose to stay for 500, 600 years also before they come back.
Oh.
So again, the situation, the souls that they want to reincarnate with and experience that particular learning need to be in the same phase.
So they wait till...
They will wait.
Oh.
They will wait and they will come back.
So, ma'am, you said that souls choose the birthplace or family, etc. Do they also choose to be born as animals or insects or any other species?
Yes, quite possible. I've had this client who found himself as a bird.
Okay.
Another found himself as a king cobra. There's one who found himself as a monkey. There's one who found himself as a crocodile. In fact, interesting, the person who was a crocodile is born in a Brahmin family, Iyengar family. They're very fanatical, okay, Iyengar Brahmins. And he has this craving for meat.
No.
Okay, feels like eating meat, chicken, mutton. Through a PLR session, he came to know that he was crocodile in one of the lifetimes.
Oh my God.
So we have been born as animals, also insects, okay, and we evolve as various souls and entities in different universes also. So it's not just as a human being. It's more about what you need to learn.
So much our tendencies also govern in the other lifetimes.
Yes, yes,
Right.
yes.
Do you think even birthmarks are related to past lives?
Yes. So Dr. Ian Stevenson, whom I mentioned, University of Virginia, has done very good research on birthmarks and traumas from past life. And he has written a book on it. You will find it in Goodreads. Okay. And when I talk about my own experiences,
Can you mention the book if you don't mind, please?
Birthmarks and Past Life Traumas.
Okay.
Dr. Ian Stevenson.
Okay.
Okay, he's done the research. It's a beautiful book. And as far as my own experience of a session conducted, it's there on YouTube in my channel also. So I had done a group past life regression.
Group past
For an NGO, where there was this boy who went through a session, and he came out and he told me ki somebody stabbed me here on my back. It's actually there. The video is there on YouTube. So somebody stabbed him with a knife, and he says, I died in that past life. And he just lifted up his shirt, and exactly the marking was there.
Oh.
So it looks like he has been stabbed.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And
so
do they, if they regress to their past life, do they also kind of experience the same pain?
yes,
Like
yes.
in this body?
That is why a past life regression is any day better if you want to experience, rather than go through Akashic records or tarot. Or those are, see, when you're doing an Akashic record, the Akashic record reader is telling you what your past life was. When you're doing tarot, the cards are showing you what your past life was. But when you go through a past life regression, you're experiencing it. Let me give you an example. I think this was my 4th or 5th case after being certified, and there was this doctor, a physician who came from Whitefield area. Okay, and he's going through a regression session, and suddenly he is deep in trance. Okay, and he holds his chest like this. He starts sweating, and he says, "Oh my God, I'm having severe pain in my chest. I'm going to die right now," and I'm lost. I'm like, what should I do right now?
Okay.
So I just stand up from my chair and I'm looking at him, and he is still holding on to his chest, and he says, and I've died. I said, great, awesome, good that you died.
But he got normal after that.
Yeah, absolutely. So he experienced the pain of a heart attack when he was going through the
Do you
session.
think it's dangerous to actually experience it? No.
See, what happens is when you're going through that experience, again, this person was kinesthetic. We all have a very specific dominant sense. Okay. The stimulus around us We take it inside and make it an internal experience because of our senses, our sense organs. Chota bachcha bhi, if you ask na in school, what are the sense organs? We have 5 sense organs. They'll tell you. Eyes, ears, nose, mouth and skin.
Right.
But we do have 21 senses, not just 5. Okay?
Oh my God.
There are so many different senses through which we take stimulus inside. You can feel the roughness of this sofa. You can feel that warmth of the room.
Right.
So we have 21 senses through which we take in the stimulus. So this particular person was kinesthetic. So when you're kinesthetic, you experience it in your body.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So there are visual people who might see during trance through a session of regression or hypnotherapy. They will see it like a movie.
Okay.
They might be in it or they might see it as a third party.
Okay.
They can
Either
see.
first person or
Yeah. So if the soul, if your higher consciousness feels that it is too traumatic for you to, be a part of it, then you are an observer.
Oh, okay.
So your mind is the one that loves you the most. Whether your parents, your spouse, your children, your siblings love you or not, your mind absolutely loves you. Okay? And your mind will ensure that you are safe 24/7.
And you, as a guider, can suggest the soul to be an observer or something like that? No.
We do not give any suggestions. We are just guiding you to trance.
Okay.
After that, your mind decides where you want to go.
Okay.
We just take you to that stage of trance, and that's all we guide you.
So, what is the